Okay, this is part 2. We got cut off on our live show, so we're gonna keep on recording and we'll upload this part 2. So if you missed the first part of this, you can check the link in the iCards. But I am going to keep on going. I'm going to grab some blue here. I put down some water lilies with my white, and I'm going to grab my light blue and a little bit of ultramarine and white here, and just start setting out some areas of blue under some of my water lilies here. I already got some blue in. We're just kind of reinforcing and brightening up some of the areas. It's a little bit brighter. Might even grab my Phthalo Blue with white and try a little bit of that. There we go. Just a few dots of this really bright blue. Okay. We're adding highlights to our lily pads here. It's not as fun not doing this live. Got nobody to chat with anymore. Poor Mark's over there all by himself. Our internet went out, I guess. I don't know what's going on. That's not a good thing to happen on a live show day, that's for sure. That hasn't happened in a long time, though. We've been fortunate, actually. We've had a pretty good run of no problem live shows, so I guess we were due. I'm going to grab a little bit of teal and white. Start adding some of that in here with my brush here. Just adding my highlight areas in now. Now that we've got our darker areas sort of worked out, these brighter areas will have some place to contrast against. I need to add some yellow into that area because there's a big area of yellow right there. Mark's ditched me. He's not even in here anymore. He's like, you're not even going to be in here, huh?
Just checking to see if the service is working.
Well, it's not worth it at this point. Let's just get it finished and we can upload it and people can watch the rest of it later. Sadly, we had a good live show going too. We had pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
People watching. It's too bad. Oh well. We'll have it up. It just won't be live. Okay. And I feel bad for the lady that was painting with us because I know there was at least one that was painting live with us. Kathy, I think. Did you go into the group and tell people what's going on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get these brighter greens going on now. Get some of these brighter colors. And this is just going to create these highlights on the water that we want. Just adding a few random dots of this here and there. This whole area down here is kind of that vertical reflection thing happening. Let's grab our yellows now. This is where it'll really come together. I still have these blues and greens in my brush, so it's softening them up a little bit. We're going to put some of these bright yellow blobs here right around these flowers. Maybe even brighter. really bright areas. Almost straight cad yellow light here. Add some white to it. There we go. Remember to keep these ones in the background smaller than the ones in the foreground. There we go. Now this whole area here is going to be nice and bright all the way up into these. Grab some of this cad or alizarin crimson and add a little bit of that in here. All these little dots right down in here with this bright yellows. We even grab some cadmium yellow, dark medium. Alright, this yellow green right along the shoreline here, and these little tiny brush strokes. And I'm just going to twist my brush to a point so I get some good small. If you need to, you can switch to a liner brush if you want to get a little bit more control on the size of your there. Okay, we're getting close to the pond being done, at least, and we'll do our bridge and we'll be done. I think I like the trees, okay? And might need a little bit more of this yellow along the in some of these grasses in here. Farther away, right up along the shoreline there. Alright, grab some of this yellow oxide, or yellow ochre, yellow oxide. Add that. Grab some of our sap green and mix a little bit of a medium sage color, maybe a little bit of white. Add some of that along this yellow area here. Okay. Put in some of this dark green back in a couple spots. There's some dark green lines that kind of come along here, I'm seeing. Grab some of that turquoise and mix it with my burnt sienna to make that dark, almost black color. We'll add some of that in right here. And some more down here too. Okay. Blue and white. I feel like this area right here needs to come down a little bit. We'll add some more. Here we need some of our white flowers on this side. We didn't do those yet. So there, here. Add a little bit of the Alizarin crimson to some of them. Right, we're almost done with this part, hon. Getting there. It's just a lot of little details. I guess our internet just got tired. It was like, I need a nap. It's like, it's not even our longest one, though. We weren't even going that. I mean, we were getting close to 2 hours, but I don't know. Oh, well. It happens. Internet, you never know. Put one down here. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'll let it dry and see what I think once it's dry. I might want to add some stuff to it, but I want to add some of these brighter grasses right along here. Right along the water line, they kind of come out. Kind of more random than I'm making them. There. Let's put a few really bright brush grasses up along in here. There's some that kind of do these little short things there. A little bit of this will show through the bridge, so we just kind of want to make sure we got all this stuff going on in the background here before we put it in. Oops, that was too high. Right, let's do some over this side, this kind of lighter highlights. Very random. I'm just kind of wiggling my brush to get it to do some of these random shapes. I think pretty ready for our bridge now. Okay. So I'm going to grab my white chalk, and I want to make the end of it start about midway right here. So that'll be my starting point, and it'll arch to about right here, just above this bush here, and then come back this way and end in the grasses about right here. So just want to make sure that that slope is even. And in the middle part here, it's pretty flat. Kind of comes flat. It's a very long, short, or long, gradual arch. It's not really circular too much. Okay, that looks good, I think. Actually, this is coming out too much. I think it's even more flat right here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about right. Just looking at the original here and making sure that I'm getting it close. I'll have a traceable for this in my Thankful Art group, so you can use mine once I get mine done. Here, just making sure I have the angle right there. I think that's good. Okay, so there's 3 lines right here at the base of the bridge. There's one that's narrow, and then there's 2. The bottom one's a little bit wider. Still feel like that's too high. I might just have to bring my grasses down a little bit lower. I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower. More like that. Okay, that's making me happier. That's better. There we go. All right, then the top line is about right there. And there's 2 lines that kind of go there. I think this one kind of comes out straighter this way. Okay. Once I paint this, it'll be easier to kind of see where I want to make some adjustments, but it's kind of hard to tell with the chalk lines, but I think that looks about right. So I may make this a little higher on this side. I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch flat, clean it out really well, and I'm going to mix up a sage green with my phthalo green and white. A tiny bit of teal. Okay. And I'm just going to lightly, at first, just going to barely drag it along, and I want these kind of edges to be sort of fuzzy, so we do want it to cover those, so you might need to do this a couple times before it gives you a solid line, but don't worry about the grasses right now, just go right over the top of them on that side. I think that's about right. I feel like it's still angling down too much. Oh well. It is what it is. I gotta get it done, huh? Mark's like it's almost dinner time. Let's get it done. It's 4:25. We've been at this 2 hours now. 2.5 hours. We would have been done by now if we hadn't had those technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh well. That's the joy of live shows. You just never know what's going to happen. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Let's do another one for our middle range. This top one is a little bit wider, so I'm going to go ahead and widen it out. It's going to have a line to separate out. There's two sections that overlap. You can kind of see the back side of it, so I'm going to widen it a little bit. And then this one is right in between. Kind of keep an eye on the separation between the top and bottom sections, and you can get this pretty well straight. I'm holding my brush pretty close to the barrel, and I'm just using small choppy brush strokes to get that fuzzy look that I want. Just barely dragging it. Now I'll be adding more paint to it to solidify it in some areas and add some colors and highlights, but for this initial thing, we can be a little bit messy with it. All right. That's good. So let's do our cross beams. This one is just off center, so the first one is just off center a little bit and straight up and down at us, and there's another line that's right next to it, so it's seeing the back one. Then this one has got, well, let's do this one first. So this one's just on this side of the thing, and then this one is here. I'm going to try to make sure that I get these separated about evenly. That looks about right. Make these vertical. These two are overlapping a little bit, so you're only seeing part of one and the other one. And I'm going to put some dark right here because that is pretty dark right there. Okay. These two are actually going to be blue, but I'll go ahead and use this green to start with. So this is this one, then there's one here, and another one right here. These are leaning. I'm not looking at my edge here. They're leaning this way, so I need to straighten them out. And I'll use my background grass color just to kind of clean up around it. All right, then underneath the bridge, we'll use that Sap Green and Phthalo Green mixture. And there's a whole dark green underneath all the way across. It's just a little bit wider than the first section there. I have to call the cable company and find out what's going on with our internet. They're like, not cool. Alright, so I'm gonna clean up this. Actually, I kind of got a little too far down on that. This one I'm gonna separate right here. Do this dark green line till about right there. Then this one has a split. And you see the line split right there all the way down to this next one where it does the same thing. So the back one is on the inside of these two, and the closer ones are on the outsides. I'm just going to use that really dark color. And clean up. Well, that's the chalk I'm seeing actually. Once you've got that dry, you can wipe your chalk off so you can see what your lines look like. And I think I'm going to bring this center part up just a little bit. And use a little bit of that on the bridge, maybe underneath too. It's nice and dark right up under here. Okay, there's a separation right here. All the way down to there. Then this one goes down like that, and then there's another separation right here. And this one is blue on this. I will put in our blue shadows here in a minute. We're just kind of trying to get our bridge shaped out right now. There's another one that comes down here. Right there. Put in some of that dark color to sort of match the background colors. So you can tell there's a separation there. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right, let's continue with this green. We'll put some on the underside of this. Right here. And right here. Separation. Connects right there. Okay, I think we're getting close. There's this dark green under there. It's really dark right here. Really dark right there. All right. Now it's just a matter of kind of setting in some shadows and things on this bridge. Now that we kind of have an idea of where our pillars are and all that, I'm going to start mixing the sap green with the white here. We'll add some white highlights along here, just barely tapping down my brush along this front side here. We want to make sure that we keep this vertical right here. This one's kind of coming in on us, so I'm just going to use that dark green to clean that up on that side so it's not tilted. There we go. I'm just kind of barely tapping, dragging a little bit of highlight over the top of that green in a few areas. We'll add a little bit of brighter green with some yellow, make some yellow in, and do it up at the top here. Add some yellow to a couple of these areas. Doing okay, hon?
Yep.
He's hanging in there. Not nearly as exciting when there's nobody to talk to, huh? Now you know why I like to do the live shows. It's way more entertaining.
Yeah.
It's quiet in here.
No questions.
No questions? You don't have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. You sure? You're pretty guaranteed to have it answered here. Okay, I'm just kind of tapping a little bit of white on. Got a little too much there. Well, okay, we'll get this done. Hashtag feed Mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get him some dinner. So Tuesday night we're going to be doing a Harvest Moon. We'll be doing another live show on Tuesday night, and hopefully our internet will be working then for it. And then next Saturday we're doing a really fun project with some arrows. So be sure to check out. The links are already up and ready for you to click on the little bell and it'll remind you before the show. So you might want to set your alarm anyways, because sometimes it reminds you late. So, okay, so that's looking all right, I think. Let's put a little bit more highlight up at the top here. Right along that top rail, but I'm just, if you notice, I'm not being really careful about my edges. I want it to look a little bit uneven and fuzzy, so I'm just leaving it kind of a little bit messier than you might normally think you should. So don't get too caught up in getting it perfectly straight or anything like that. All right, let's grab the cobalt and we'll add the blue to this side of the bridge. So about right here it starts to add some shadows. There's a shadow here with the blue, and then there's a dark shadow right here. I'll grab some ultramarine too, use that as well. So there's two shadows there. starts right here, and we're just going to kind of dry brush this blue over the top of the green. My paints are starting to get sticky, so I don't want them to cooperate with me very well. There we go. Grab some cobalt and do a little bit of cobalt too. This back one's got a little bit of a highlight, so it's a little bit lighter right here. Add a little bit of white to our cobalt. It's definitely getting sticky. It's just not wanting to stick on the canvas there for me. Okay, and then this whole back thing here is blue. Blue there and blue here. And this one is a little bit higher than the other. I kind of made this one a little bit far over because you'd almost be seeing another part of the bridge right there, so there we go. And then there's another one right below it, right there. Okay. It's pretty dark right along here. And then this back one here has a little bit of a bright highlight along the top of it. Get some white there. There and there. Grab some of that yellow. Do a little bit of yellow right here. Just want to make sure that it's not disappearing into your greenery. So if you've got too much, if you don't have enough contrast there, you may have to add a little bit of brighter color. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this bright yellow green to these back, add some white to it, to these back ones here. I noticed that he did the same. There's some bright yellow around here, so kind of sets it off a little bit. And then right up underneath, we don't want to forget, there is a blue border underneath the whole bridge. A little bit thinner than the green. And here again, I'm just using kind of choppy brush strokes so that it's not perfectly straight. Or I'm going to add a little bit of the sap green to it as I get to this end here. Maybe use a little bit of the turquoise right here, just really darken it up right there. Alright, we are almost done, hon. I think. I'm going to grab some of that Cobalt Blue, use a little bit of that straight right up underneath there. Oh yeah, we gotta finish it by making it fit over here. We gotta put some more of our grasses. This area down here has got a little bit lightness. And I think there's just a tiny bit of blue on this one over here. A little bit. Maybe even a little bit right here. Okay, almost there. Just a few little bright areas. What do you think, hon? How's it look? Looking better?
I am.
Looking okay? Alright, I'm going to go some of the really bright white here. I feel like this needs to be a little bit whiter right here. Just add a little bit of that. Being kind of fussy with it, but I want to make sure that it's got enough highlights going on, so that's why I'm kind of taking a little bit extra time here. Let's put a little bit of the sap green along the top rail. That looks like it had a little bit of that green up there and along the side. And this nice and dark right under there. Okay, we're gonna stop because I can fiddle with this all day to get it just right, but I think it's close enough. So let's go in with our sap green. We're gonna add just a few little random spots along our water line here. Make sure it's nice and dark. So I'm just adding a little bit of dots to set back those bushes if I needed it anywhere. There's a couple of spots in here that was kind of light, so we're going to add a few more of these darker spots. Grab the turquoise to darken it up even more. There we go. And now over here, we're going to use this sap green color, and we'll just kind of dabble in over the top of the edge of the bridge a little bit. And then use my small round with my light yellow-green color. Yellow, white, and a little bit of sap green. It's the cad yellow light. And we'll just use that to draw a few little wispy get a little bit brighter. Over the top of that bridge ends, so you're not seeing where it ends. Maybe some cad yellow straight. There's some brighter kind of things happening. I'm kind of doing little curly cues here. There's some light yellow things going on in the background right there too. Trying to keep my brush strokes small. This brush is wanting to make them a little bit fatter than I want. So I might switch to a liner brush if you want to get your reeds nice and small. Do some long ones. And use a little bit darker color to just kind of make the ends of them disappear. And I think we're about done, honey. I'm going to put a few little random things in here. Maybe a few little things happening over here. Low down. I think we're good. Let me zoom out. See how we look. Ooh, pretty. Okay. So there we have it. Thank you. Hope you guys are able to watch this second half here. I'm seeing where I missed some of these grasses right here. Sorry. I knew that would happen. I just saw it when I lifted it up. Okay, just a few little grasses right there. All right, I promise we're done. We're done. For real. We could go for another 2 hours on this one. Adding little things to it. So anyhow, but thank you so much, guys, for rewatching the second half here, and those who watched the live version. I really appreciate you stopping by. We had a really good show going before we had to quit. So we will see you live on Tuesday night, hopefully, and hopefully things will go well. And thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And we will see you next time.